welcome to another week of Upcycles. We started this week with some snow. Yes, friends, we're back in winter. I don't want to go back to winter. I am ready for spring and summer. But since we are back here in the cold zone, I thought I would pull out a few items that have once again just been sitting in my closet, not getting any use, and see what magic we can make happen this week. So the items that we are going to plan on upcycling have these two sweaters, sweatshirts. So the first one here, this pink one, this is actually from YouTube. I do a lot of partnering with YouTube and their shorts program, and they send us some really cool swag sometimes. And I've had this sweatshirt for a few years, and it's an odd shape. It's really long, and the color is a little, it's Pepto-Bismol. It's not quite the color I would go to. So we're gonna figure out how we can, once again, make it wearable. The red sweater that I have here, just a little faded, it doesn't feel that great. So something that I've been wanting to try, which we'll try it with this red sweater, is turning a sweater into a beret. Now I know, if you haven't seen the videos, it looks like a super easy technique, and I would love to do that. I love wearing hats anyway. The sweater is 100% cotton, so that makes me really happy. It is something that I could wear as we go into spring, but I don't want to waste the sweater on just this little beret because you're only taking the neck portion of it. So we're going to take the sleeves from that sweater, and I think we're going to use them with the pink sweater and then incorporate some other techniques in there. So essentially we won't be wasting the red sweater. In fact, I think I might even, we might get a 3 for out of that one because it has enough circumference that I could actually turn that into just a cute little camisole. So those are the items that I'm hoping to upcycle this week. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of my new followers. Your comments and support really are just inspiring me every single day. And I've heard from 2 different sides of folks. Some folks want to see more of the detailed how I'm doing things. Others just want to see more of the before and after. So let me know in the comments which one resonates most with you. I'm trying to do a happy medium of both, but I would just love to see what folks are looking for so that I can kind of tweak things as we go. With that said, let's dive right in. All right, we're gonna start with this sweater today. So I'm gonna come over, let's see, about that far, I think. So I've seen these videos, and essentially what they do is they cut around here, then they line this up, trim off the extra, and then they take another piece and then they create a circle and then just stitch them together. Again, a super simple upcycle. Now with this piece, because I do want to try to use this in multiple ways, I just want to be mindful of where I'm going to get this fabric from. So a couple things I'm going to do with this sweater. We are going to salvage this bottom portion. I do want to use the sleeves as well. So I could just open up the sleeves and take the fabric from here because I know there's enough if I were to flatten these out. Now I kind of want to line things up. So we have these little matching lines here. I think that would make it look a little more finished. This is going to cut into my salvageable part, but we're going to make it work. I may end up turning it into a halter. We are going to make everything work. So then we're just going to cut out this little piece right here. So now I have these 2 pieces. So I'm going to place them right sides together. And again, I do want the stripes to line up. That is my goal. Now, because I don't want this to shift, I am actually going to go back through and put pins in it throughout. I really just want to try to prevent any shifting so that we can keep those lined up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to take this to my serger and I'm just going to serge all the way around. After I serge, I may go back with just a regular stitch, but I just want to serge them together first just so I can prevent any shedding and also to make sure that I'm keeping all of these lines together. Okay, so this project was one of those, it was supposed to be really quick, and then I fell down a rabbit hole. Maybe because I'm craving spring, I don't know. But my dad called, I had to go take care of some things, so here's how it turned out. And let me just show you what it looks like. It's like such a fun spring hat. Totally not my vibe typically, but here's the back. It just has whimsy, right? And I feel like that's something right now that is just bringing me so much joy. The hat is done. But it's after 4 o'clock. I need to go get some food, hang out with the fam, and then we will pick back up tomorrow and we'll figure out what else we're gonna do with the remnants of that red sweater. All right, for today's upcycle of the day, we're gonna pick up where we left off yesterday with the red sweater. So we made the little hat last night, and cute, adorable, but we have all this leftover fabric. And as a sustainable designer, I really focus on trying to utilize everything that I can. So when I was trying to sleep last night, I kept having all of these visions of what I could do with this extra fabric. Initially, I had said that I was going to like make a cami and then maybe use the sleeves on something. Well, I think we're going to take it a little bit further. So we are going to utilize the Pepto-Bismol shorts sweatshirt that we have. And then what the plan is I'm going to crop that sweatshirt, but, and the sweater is just like shedding everywhere now. I'm going to take the bottom of this sweater, which there's quite a bit of this bottom with the band, and I'm going to attach that to the bottom of that sweatshirt. So essentially it'll just be pink going into red, and then the band will be red. Then what I may do is something creative with the sleeves. Initially, I think that the plan was to swap out the sleeves and give it red sleeves. I don't know yet. I have too many ideas floating around in my head. I have this little fat quarter here. Of course, it's black and white checker, but it's a smaller checker than what I typically use. Got this at our Creative Reuse Center. And this is something that could be fun for reverse applique. Now, I know I do reverse applique a lot with sweatshirts. It's just because it's such a great technique to add new life. And then the last thing that I'm imagining is around the neckline. I don't want to alter the neckline because I think that it's okay. But what I do want to do is I think do like an X stitch with really thick embroidery floss and kind of go halfway around the neck and then have some thread hanging down. Maybe. Maybe. Again, I never know. But anyway, we're going to dive in and we're going to start by cropping. So that's what I'm going to start with first, and then we'll see where the creative process takes us. So I'm not done, but I wanted to give you a preview because I'm actually a little obsessed with how this turned out so far. So just using that second half of the sweater down here, it just gives it more of a pop. Yeah. It's not so bad. I'll actually wear it and it's the right length. So a couple of considerations if you're working with knits. I did use the serger to finish the edges of the sweater because it was super, shedding. And then I switched to a ballpoint needle to make sure that it went through the fabric smoothly. And then I also switched to a walking foot, which I use a walking foot really regularly anyway. It's super helpful if you're working with thick fabrics and also with knits. And so here we are. Now what I need to decide are the next few finishing touches. So I only did, I did this light pink as close as I could get first pass at just attaching these two pieces. I don't like how it's curling up, so I think I'm going to go back around, and I may use black because I do want to bring in some black to this so that it's not so ice creamish. I don't know. It's a little too pink and red, so I just need to bring in a little bit of black. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll just do some zigzag stitches around the edges just to tack those down. Now, let's talk about sleeves. So these sleeves are also super long. So we have options here. Number one, we could do another transplant and take the cuffs from this red sweatshirt and put the cuffs on here and shorten it up. I also can swap out the sleeves completely and make them short sleeves if I'm feeling so inclined. And if I wanted to leave the sleeves, I could do little elbow patches. I don't know. I have a lot to think about right now. So let me play around with some sleeve ideas, and then we'll go from there. I did a little detail. So I actually went around and did multiple rows of zigzag stitches. I'll show you when it all comes together because it kind of looks, it's one of those techniques that definitely looks a little messy, but I feel like it's necessary for this piece. As I mentioned, it was looking too pretty. The red and the pink for me and my aesthetic, it was a little too sweet. So I just needed to edge it up a little bit, and I just added those rows of zigzag stitches. Now, what I think that I'm going to do for the sleeves, I think that I am going to shorten them and just leave them long sleeves. I'm, again, thinking about intention when I'm upcycling and not doing something just to do it, but doing something because I'll end up, prolonging the wear, prolonging the use, and making it more of a piece that I do tend to go to. So I don't wear a lot of bright colors like this. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm, designing the next step, because I don't want to make something that just, again, sits in my closet. So with the colors themselves, the design, it needs to be a little simple, but I may just attach the pink sleeves back on. And the reason for that is there is more use that I can get out of these sleeves, leaving them as sleeves. And thinking about waste, what's going to produce more waste? Well, me cutting off and just using the cuffs, that's going to produce more waste because now I don't have a full sleeve and it's going to limit what I can do with those offcuts. So now that I'm saying all of this, I think that I'm just going to shorten the sleeves with a simple nip and tuck. So we're just going to slice them. We're going to use the serger and we're going to serge them back on. I think I have enough thread. I'm getting close to the end of my serger thread, but then I'll just serge them back on. And then I'm going to do a technique that I have done in the past, and I really enjoy doing it. It adds a little something. Like I mentioned, this top needs black. I need black somewhere, and I was going to do the reverse applique, but as I'm starting to put this all together, it'll be too busy. Reverse applique, with the scalloped edges, it's a little too much. But I love using stamps. So I just have the only kind of, shorts or video related stamp I have is actually of this little kind of vintage cam right here. It almost looks like the IG logo. I totally get that, but it's the same vibe. So I'm just going to use some of my permanent ink and I'm going to stamp these around the top and create my own pattern. This could go very badly. Okay, and the reveal. All of the little stamps, I created that whole new kind of pattern. And then in the back, again, the same repeating pattern. And then I just finished the neckline with another little black zigzag stitch here just to kind of tie in the zigzag stitches here at the bottom. And then I did end up shortening the sleeves. So I know this is not everyone's vibe. I get it. This is you're gonna love it or you're gonna really hate it. But guess what? I love it. And I actually think that I'm going to wear it now. So that is a big success. That is exactly the reason that I'm upcycling these clothes, is just to make sure that I'm wearing them and giving my closet some new statement pieces. And yeah, this is a bit of a statement. All right, well, it's time to go have some corned beef and cabbage, relax, and we'll pick up tomorrow. For today's upcycle, we're going to try to use up as much of the sweater remnants as possible, starting with the sleeves. As I mentioned yesterday, I really wanted to keep them intact so that I could use them on another project. I pulled a t-shirt from my closet that I don't wear because it's just a little too tight. It's a great t-shirt. It's really soft. So we're going to see if we can make this something that I will reach for just by transplanting the sleeves. Now, I always say this, we're going to do an easy upcycle. But then it always turns into something a little more elaborate. Well, today, folks, I woke up feeling really ill once again. We're still in winter, although it was a little warmer today. When we went on our family walk, I did not have to wear gloves. I didn't wear a beanie, but I am definitely not feeling the greatest. I also have a couple of volunteer commitments later this week, as well as a board meeting. So we are going to finish this project today one way or another. The idea for this project is we're going to take just the t-shirt portion, and then we're going to transplant our sleeves. Now, because I want this to be a little bit different than, say, have big oversized sweater sleeves. So I'm planning on making it so that it hits about right here. That is something a little different that I don't have in my wardrobe, and I think it'll allow me to wear it more often. So we have these two sleeves, turn them the right direction. So we have two sleeves, this one and this one. And how we're going to do this is, number one, I need to measure one sleeve because I'm just going to mirror it on the other. But I'm going to measure how long I need it to end up being. And then we're just going to place the sleeve right sides together, opposite direction. And then I'm going to stitch it all together. And then I'll come back through and serge it. So now that I have cut these sleeves equidistant, right? So this one's going to go over here. This one's going to go over here. How I'm going to attach these, I'm not actually going to cut the sleeve off yet because I'm going to use that as kind of my guide. And so what we're going to do is I want the sleeve to be inside out, and then we want it to be here around the sleeve. So here's our shoulder seam, and here's our bottom seam. So we definitely want that to align as much as possible, and we are going to pin that in place. And something I'm realizing, I could actually use this and stitch it like this around, and then I won't have to serge this edge at all because it will enclose all of these raw edges. So maybe I'll try that. But what that does mean is I need to cut the sleeve off. So see, this is all a learning process. I've actually never done this technique. In theory, in my brain, it all works out just fine. But that's the fun of upcycling, right? Is that you just get to play around. Essentially, you're just creating and seeing what happens. You never know. It's also going to make it easier to stitch when I can actually get to the edge of the fabric. Oh, okay. This might actually work out better than I thought. All right, so we're actually just going to use the existing line. That way we can ensure everything is lined up. Oh, yeah, this makes so much sense. I like this idea. Okay, well that seems way easier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to just stitch around. Then I can trim up the rest of this t-shirt material. It won't fray, so this t-shirt material is not going to fray, but I would like to trim it up so it's a little bit more even. All right, so now I've got the sleeves on. There is one little pucker right here. I think I'm gonna go back and fix this because it's in the front. If it was in the back, I wouldn't even worry about it, but I'm just gonna unpick this and just stretch it a little so that it lays flat. So then after I do that, I went through and a couple weeks ago, I did another video where I upcycled this gray denim shirt. And of course, as I mentioned, I save all of my scraps. And I thought, how fun would this be? This is the placket that I had left over from the bottom of that shirt. And I thought this could be really cool. Just stitched on the front is like a little, design. And then I made this little patch a while back, just using denim scraps, hand stitching, stamps, which I mentioned earlier in the video that I love to do. And so I thought we could stitch that right there. And then, because, we did another upcycle where we had this other denim shirt that I just did, and this was what was left over. And I thought this could be a great way to finish the bottom of this t-shirt. This turned out so much better than I even imagined. And it's just scraps. These sleeves are scraps from the sweater. This is scrap from another upcycle I just did. This is scraps from another upcycle and then just a patch that I made. And it was a t-shirt that I never ever wear. And now I feel like I kind of have to wear it because it's an amazing statement piece. So I took one red sweater that was old, faded, ill-fitting, and turned it into a little spring beret. And then also upcycled another sweatshirt that wasn't getting worn to add another piece to my closet. So I'm pretty pleased with the upcycles this week. If you do like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, see ya!